Arizona Cardinals, despite a solid effort today, tell me if you heard this before, lose at home. Tanking is underway as the Cardinals are in their 7th straight loss, this time to the Dirty Birds in the ATL. PHNX Cardinals postgame show starts now. Hey, welcome in live from Studio K. It's the PHNX Cardinals postgame show brought to you by our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com. I'm Johnny Venerable. I'm going to be joined by Brack at State Farm Stadium. The Arizona Cardinals, despite a solid effort, lose this one 26-19 to the Atlanta Falcons, keeping the hope alive for some of you, maybe most of you at home, that are aiming for a top 5 pick for this franchise. Cardinals unable to eclipse 20 points for the better part of this one, for all of it, frankly. They have not eclipsed 20 points in over a month. So, if you're scoring at home, not great. Again, big thanks to our presenting sponsors today. Big thanks to everybody watching live. Hit that like button. We're going to hear from Jonathan Gannon and Brack in just a couple minutes. But again, Bet365, another presenting sponsor. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. So we did the halftime show, and people were pissed that the game was close. So I would imagine most of you are excited that the team lost. Let me just first off by saying I'm sad that these players are in such a very like numb state that losses are just the norm. Walter Nolen, Garrett Williams suffered what looks like major injuries that are going to require significant, medical attention. Both carted off in this game. Here's where I'm at. Jonathan Gannon has 2 more games left in this year. I don't expect the Cardinals to win those games. And frankly, I think those games are going to be ugly. Cincinnati's putting up 40-plus points today. How good the LA Rams are going to be at SoFi. I don't know how anybody can sit here and say, yeah, he's safe today. I know a rap sheet put out that article. I know definitively, Michael Bidwell gave him a vote of confidence earlier this season. All they do is lose. They lose every game. They beat the Dallas Cowboys what feels like forever ago. They have not won a game on an NFL Sunday. I tweeted this out yesterday. Since September 14th. They haven't showed up on a Sunday since September 14th at home, coincidentally, against Carolina, and won a game at home in front of their fans. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons, to the Tennessee Titans, to the Jags, to the Texans. They lose to everybody. I don't care about the schedule. I'm sad about the injuries. That's unfortunate. But let's not pretend like this is Oregon versus James Madison yesterday. The Cardinals have NFL players. The Cardinals, I think, had the better quarterback in this game. Kirk Cousins looked completely washed. They just lost. They were losing for most of this game. We all felt like they were going to lose. The Cardinals have to be, I don't know this definitively, hemorrhaging season tickets. They are going to lose 9 in a row to end this year, assuming they don't have a miracle in Cincinnati next week. I mean, who's covering Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow? No thanks. I mean, this is a catastrophic season. It's the worst of my adult life. It's worse than 2019. It's worse than 2022 easily. It's worse than 2012. I just think you have to just say, I'm done with this. This isn't working. The injuries are unfortunate. I know Michael Bidwell, though, does not want to go into a coaching cycle where he has to compete with 10 other clubs for a head coach. But, what's the alternative? The alternative can't be to put this regime in front of their fan base in January after a 3-14 season and say, feel sorry for us. We lost some players this year. I mean, give me a break. Come on. We can't do that. The Titans beat the Cardinals. Everybody beats the Cardinals. Everybody beats the Cardinals, and everybody will beat the Cardinals if this is the standard that you set. This is a winnable game today. I said it was Gannon's last stand. And, like, they lost by 7 points. The Falcons, excuse my language, dicked around in this game. They fumbled the football. I mean, this game was not close. I mean, like, theoretically, the Cardinals, how many touchdowns did the Cardinals score today? 1, 2, maybe? I mean, like, they had just the Michael Wilson touchdown. Did they have any other touchdowns? And the Michael Wilson touchdown was like a fluke touchdown. And, like, at no point were they a threat to score a bunch of points today. And the Atlanta Falcons have been hemorrhaging defensive points for the better part of 2 months. The Cardinals are like, no, we can't score 20 at home. Jacoby Brissett, he's valiant effort. I'll echo Bo's comments. He's a backup. Jacoby Brissett's a backup. Who's not a backup? Our X Factor player of the game, Michael Wilson. And Michael Wilson's rise is an indictment on Drew Petzing and this coaching staff. I mean, the guy is a big-time playmaker. I don't know what the hell's going on with Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. needs a change of scenery like nobody else. And then you got Michael Wilson. He's just like, ho-hum, I'll make plays when you throw it to me. He's our player of the game. It's like, congratulations. This is the most damning Cardinal season of my adult life. We're friends with Jonathan Gannon. We've had him on the show. I'd have him on the show again. But, like, to sit there with that joke of a piece that they sent to Ian Rappaport on, what was that, Saturday? It was like, everything's fine. Everybody's doing well. Now, everybody's going to cry boo-hoo today. And I'm not downplaying the injuries. That's terrible. They're horrendous. But, like, at some point, it's got to be about winning games, not about, hey, feel sorry for us. You know who's not feeling sorry for themselves? The Tennessee Titans, who just beat Andy Reid today. You know who's not feeling sorry for themselves? The flippin' Raiders, who after you got your boat rocked by Houston, the Raiders played Houston Texans down to the final minute. And I got the Cardinals waving the white flag in Houston last week. We don't want to compete. We don't want to play hard. And then the Raiders, who everybody told me the worst team in the NFL, the Giants competing to the last whistle. I mean, like, this was a 3-point spread. Falcons covered the spread. Falcons were up by double digits. I just do not allow the Cardinals to feed you a narrative that this is about injuries. Like, the Cardinals lost to the Titans. They were healthy. They lost to Mac Jones. They were healthy. I mean, like, they haven't won a division game. They're not going to win one this year. They had players for those games. I love James Conner. He's 30 years old. He can't be the reason that you have 3 wins. Like, let's just call a spade here. The Arizona Cardinals this year are an embarrassment, and you need to wipe your hands of it. Because right now, the silver lining is you are on your way to a top 5 pick. Titans won today. Titans are going to win again. You're on your way to a top 5 pick with potentially room to grow, more time. I mean, we got a Giants, Raiders, Jets, and Browns. I don't know if you can leapfrog any of those teams, but, like, if there are 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this class, you're going to have a shot. You're going to have a shot. So we're going to come back around the corner. We're going to count some cards. We're going to take your super chats. We're going to hear from Bo Brack and Jonathan Gannon. It's PHNX Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals, they may not be a good time, but I'll tell you what is. Our friends at Three Amigos Tequila. I can't tell you how many people I've hooked up this holiday season with the premier tequila you can find in Arizona or anywhere else, because around here we cheer hard and we celebrate even harder, and we always keep it local. Three Amigos Tequila is a staple, friends, for Arizona fans. They're family owned right here in the Valley. They started up in 1939, almost 100 years in operation, crafted in Mexico with 100% Blue Weber agave, and it's award-winning for a reason. It's smooth, it's bold, and it's made for moments that matter. It doesn't burn the back of your throat. It goes down easy, and it's easy to see why people love it. Three Amigos Blanco, by the way, is also available at our favorite spot, our friends at Circle K. So this holiday season, I'm going to tell you right now, tailgate, toast, and celebrate the Valley's favorite tequila with our friends at Three Amigos. And from Three Amigos to our friends at Shady Rays, you talk about stocking stuffers. I picked up a couple pairs for my family. I got a pair for my son. I got another pair for my wife. I got it all for under $60. 2 pairs for under $60. I took advantage of their Black Friday deal last month, and I got my favorite pair, all black, for $24. I'm going to tell you right now, I've done all the major brand sunglasses in the past. They are pale in comparison to what our friends at Shady Rays are doing right now. They are the place to go when you're looking for something that looks like fashionable, but it's not going to cost you triple digits. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer so you can try for yourself the shades rated over 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the bonus code PHNX. You're going to get 35% off these polarized glasses. Again, you just got to go to their website, type in PHNX, and you're going to profit big time. And then they do a bunch of phenomenal things. They do add-ons. They do flash sales. But again, check them out right now. 35% off. Perfect gift this holiday season. Breaking news here. I had this incorrect. The Cardinals lost, yet the Titans still have the worst strength schedule by 1 point. It's 574 to 575. You got to be kidding me. The Titans still sit 5th overall. The Cardinals are at 6th overall. The Titans, however, New Orleans next week, and then the Jags. We'll see. I got to think that improves, but something to watch. So the Cardinals right now, for those of you scoring at home, they have a 3-12 record, just like the Titans, Jets, and Browns. That's your company, Cardinals. But those other teams have a worse strength of schedule, which is a flipping joke. Then the Giants and the Raiders are 1-2. I think the Giants and the Raiders play at the end of the year. Who knows? But I do think the Cardinals, should they lose out, and I think we all expect that they will still find a way to get a top 5 pick, if not higher. Because again, like theoretically, the Cardinals are 1.5 games away from the first overall pick. But yeah, that's tough. But here's, again, if you're hoping that they tank, this was the game that they were going to win if they were going to win a game. Didn't it feel like that when they were up 10-0? Like, if the Cardinals were going to win a game, it was going to be this one. And they didn't. You think the Cardinals are going to pick themselves up on a road game in frigid Cincinnati in the early slate next week against Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase? No chance. No chance. Yeah, Giants, Raiders play next week. We'll see what happens there. I expect the Giants to lose, but you never know. So, again, a lot of time to sift through this. I think the Jets play somebody. The Browns are toast. They lost Judkins. So, again, I think you just got to be hoping for a top 5 pick. But this has been a season from hell. It's the least the Cardinals can do for their fan base is get a top 5 pick. Like, nope. Nobody wants these wins at the end of the season. And it would have been a crock of you-know-what had the Cardinals gone to L.A. in Week 18 and beaten Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's get to your Super Chats here because you guys are firing them off. Hit that like button. Let's get us to 1,000 likes. There's almost 700 people watching live. Appreciate you all. Shane Lame, friend of the program, $9.99. I told you, last knee injury, they should sit Nolen for the year. Agreed. This is why his size. Shame on the Cardinals staff. Something is not right with the strength and conditioning for this team. Fire everybody. Agreed. They should have shut him down. They should not bring Paris Johnson Jr. back. That would be a disaster. I die a little bit inside seeing that footage of Walter Nolen running and then his knee collapses. I mean, just the turf is bad. The team is bad. The coaching staff is bad. The medical staff is bad. I mean, like, nobody wants to see any of this. Nobody. And again, it undercuts, I think, a nice day for the rookies. I think Will played well, Will Johnson. Denzel Burke played well. Cody Simon played well. Taylor Demerson played well. You saw some promise, but man, the Cardinals, anytime you feel like you got something to latch onto, that's why I love Jonathan Gannon. To sit Jonathan Gannon up in front of Cardinal fans in January after losing 9 in a row and what will be 13 of 14 games and trying to sell like, we're good. People are, he's going to turn into something he doesn't deserve, which is one of the most hated figures in the Valley. And I don't want that for Jonathan Gannon. And I think Michael Bidwill should spare him of that. But that's going to be the reality. I've already heard from countless people through my DMs, social media, like, I'm not consuming this team if Gannon's the coach next year. I mean, it's they've never hit this kind of rock bottom, certainly since I've covered the team. The optics here matter for the fan base. Brian, $5. If the Raiders have #1 overall and we have 5th overall, any chance we can package Kyler and our first to the Raiders to move up? Made $2K on the Cardinals loss. Congratulations, Brian. I'm sure you're sweating out that last drive. Maybe, throw it some my way. Although you got the super chat, brother. We appreciate you. I think we need to be rooting for the Giants to have the first pick. What's going to be tough is, Giants are going to have the first pick. They're going to auction it off. That team's going to get Fernando Mendoza. Then the Raiders, you would assume, are going to get Dante Moore at number 2, maybe. Depending on how things shake out, what happens with Ty Simpson, who's been playing well. Jets, Browns, Raiders, all needing a quarterback. You got to leapfrog those teams. Shane Labe, 199. Ian brought up injuries again during the game. Of course he did. Ian Rappaport, it's really sad because I've talked to Ian before. We've had him on the show before. I worked at PHNX Cardinals. I had a chance to interview him for other companies. He's a genuinely nice guy. What he has become, he is not like a journalist, an insider. He's an extension of, he's a PR person. Ian Rappaport, I work in PR, and the teams send me things and I post them. And I shine them up and I give them a positive light. I'm not sitting here coming at it from a, competent brain analysis of, hey, this team stinks and they lose every week. It's like, what does the team want me to feed to my millions of followers so I can help smooth this out? That's what they're doing. Anybody who doesn't see that, it's Ian Rappaport. He doesn't even control his own Twitter anymore. It's like, if teams tell me what to post, how can I feel good about the job that I'm doing? I get it. The Cardinals have lost a lot of players, but you know what else they lose a lot of? Games. Citrus, $4.99. Petzing is truly one of the worst coaches I've ever seen across all sports. Dude was unqualified to even get the job. It's a joke how bad this staff is. What's really bad, and I agree with that, he's going to get fired. And they won't fire him. They just won't renew his contract, and they're going to set him up to try to get another job, which is fine. Whatever. But how many games did Jonathan Gannon allow Drew Petzing to lose for him before the defense was like, we're good, and started giving up 40 burgers? That's why it's hard to feel sorry for anybody. I'm with the people. You enable this guy, he loses you games, then the defense is like, we don't want to hit anybody. Sans today, which I know they were competitive. I mean, is Drew the problem or the people that are enabling Drew the problem? Drew's not an NFL play caller. He's not. I think you can be a quarterback coach. I think you can be a running backs coach, tight ends coach. We know he's not an O-line coach. 2 Slim Shady, $6.99. This was the first game I've attended in years. I've never been more embarrassed. The organization doesn't give a you-know-what about us. We had Bo Brack on the show, and then I texted Bo during the game. It was a sparse crowd. People have quit on the Cardinals. And we've said it for the longest time. I will never turn in my fan card. I will always root for this team, love this team, consume this team. But you have ways of showing this team, I am not interested in your product until you change your product. I mean, one home win this year? One home win in 2025. In a league where average teams or below average teams sneeze and luck into 3 or 4 wins. I'm sorry, not good enough. Kirk Cousins is washed. He was awful today. He was terrible. I mean, we said it on the halftime show. When the Falcons, if they want to win this game smart enough, they'll just give it to their backs, and they did. Rogers Cromartie, $10. I don't know why we would even be optimistic about a top 5 pick. The team cannot identify nor develop talent. Bidwell is a cancer that has metastasized into every corner of the organization. Here's what I'll tell you. Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenford run everything. They run everything from a football standpoint. If you want to be upset, rightfully so, about casitas, ticket prices, fan experience, of course, be upset at the owner. I don't think the Cardinals have lost this season because of ownership. And I'm going to sound like a shield. That's honestly my opinion. I've said it for weeks. They have lost it because of bad picks, bad signings, and bad coaching. I'm not in the interest of pointing at players and saying, hey, it's all the players' fault. Would Marvin Harrison Jr. be successful in another organization? Probably. If he was a Sean Payton or Kyle Shanahan. And he may not work out, but this staff, Darius Robinson finally looked good. Why is it taking D-Rob 2 years to look good? Red Feather Workshop, Dana, $5. Fire the cleats guy. Incompetent at every level of coaching and operations on this organization has led to injuries and piss poor play. Well, and if you're Gannon, those are the kind of things that you're going to be able to say to your owner. You're going to be able to say, what are we doing from a cleat standpoint or from a nutrition standpoint, from an injury standpoint? My biggest thing is, Gannon can be right about the injuries have been too hard to overcome. That doesn't change the fact that it's Brian Baldinger said it on our show Wednesday, Thursday. Nobody survives this. It's just not a thing where people like turn around and it's like everything's fine, everything's better. We're gonna roll into 2026 with this. $5. Nothing will improve by repeating the same mistakes. Insanity equals Cardinals. Let me ask you this. If Jonathan Gannon gets a veteran quarterback this offseason, how many games are they winning? Whereas, like, you get a coach that can develop a rookie, you trade up, you get Ty Simpson, you get Dante Moore, you get Fernando Mendoza, and you can do it correctly, I would be worried to stick the staff with a rookie right now. Uber Tank 199. MHJ is a fraud at best. Bad drop in the end zone. Drop that touchdown. Ryland's 2 missed field goals. I mean, a lot of people were frauds today. But how about 4th and 1, you're kicking field goals when you got 3 wins? I mean, like, and you're running the ball well. 4th and 1, Jacoby Brissett can't get a yard. We're going to be back around the corner. Bo's going to join us, plus more of your super chats and JG's comments. That's coming up. If you're thinking of starting your own business, Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all the e-commerce in the United States. It's here to hook you up. Shopify, by the way, even powers the PHNX merch store. And I'm going to pick up this Brandon Bills hat from there right now. Shopify has got you covered with things like website creation, product descriptions, email, and social media marketing. They've got everything as it relates to all the good stuff you need from SEO and AI tools designed to help maximize your sales. This isn't something you're putting out there into the ether, never to be found. Shopify is here to elevate your brand and to make sure you're getting the sales you need. If you're ready to sell and sell at a big level, get ready with our friends at Shopify. Turn your business idea into cha-ching, cold, hard cash. Again, Shopify is at your side. Sign up with $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. From spending money and getting money to making money with our friends at APS. The weather here in Phoenix it's choice, right? It's A+. I got family from out of town that can't believe it. They're from the Midwest, but I said the only thing you got to watch out for is your heating and air, your cooling and air, and you have to know when and how to set your thermostat. And that's why you got to go with a smart thermostat from APS. The first thing I did, I got a big crooked number on my heating and air bill, and I said, I'm never doing this again. It has 6 in front of it. Now it's cut in half with our friends at APS. And if you're looking to save smart money, APS can help. When you upgrade to a smart thermostat, you can cut costs year after year. That's exactly what I've done. APS customers get a new smart thermostat for as low as $0, free 99 right now at aps.com/sale. Shipping and taxes not included. Other restrictions apply. Again, save money with APS. Back on a post-game show. Hit that like button. Joining us now from the scene of the crime. Cardinals drop all but one home game this year. It's Bo Brack, fresh off the Cardinals loss 26-19 to the Atlanta Falcons. Bo, tough sledding for Cardinal fans when they tune in on Sunday expecting anything but a loss.
Yeah, I mean, scene of the crime is probably correct. It was a bloodbath out of here on the field. Bunch of unfortunate injuries for some key players that could now bleed into next season. And when you think about, the rehab process on some of these, Jonathan Gannon asked about Walter Nolen. Didn't want to go too deep into the injuries as he never really wants to. But I think it was an indicator as far as Garrett Williams and Walter Nolen that these are going to be some that are going to require probably them missing the rest of the season. And we'll see if they can get back in time for 2026. But not good signs from a couple key defenders there.
It's tough because we want to come on here and we want to be like, yeah, this is unacceptable, and we know how the team is phrasing it with the injuries, Bo. I mean, like, do the Cardinals win this game without those injuries? I question that. I thought the Cardinals had one touchdown in this game. It was to Michael Wilson, and they kicked a bunch of field goals. It never felt like to me like they were going to score enough points. They haven't scored over 20 points in 5 weeks since the Jacksonville game when they went to overtime. So I don't know. Give me your assessment of the game the best you can. Like, I felt like Atlanta kind of screwed around en route to this win. Like, I probably could have been worse in my opinion.
No doubt about it. I mean, you see a deeply flawed team over on the other sidelines, but I mean, the aggressor was the winner here. I think we saw Atlanta go for it on fourth down 5 times. Sure, they only converted on 2 of those, but in some of those instances, it set themselves up to cash in. Beyond just kicking it through the uprights, and then the Cardinals missed 2 field goals, back-to-back misses for Chad Riley when this offense put this team in a position to get points, but I think especially on that 4th and 1, I think you'd be aggressive at this point. What do you have to play for? You saw immediately. I mean, this wasn't something that bit you in behind, you know, later in the game. This was you saw, what settling for field goals would do right before the end of the half as they cashed in with a touchdown and they went up by 1 point. It's like, hey, those 2 field goal drives that you got there immediately put you in a position to relinquish the lead, even though you played with the lead the entirety of the first half before giving up that score that ended up being kind of the go ahead. It was just kind of a nothing burger game. Like there wasn't like outside of the Michael Wilson touchdown, miraculously coming down with that football. Like it didn't get nobody. Like I mean, personally, I didn't feel any kind of like excitement for this team like to rally from behind. There was just this kind of like ho hum, get back into it, make a 1-score game, and then the game sealing pick happened. But there was no aggressiveness that you would expect from a team that's going for broke, and I think that was costly today.
Don't you feel like too, like Jacoby Brissett's performance these last couple of weeks, very
Yeah.
telling? Like I know I've argued the point where they're going to gloss up his stats. Today was a day I thought he had an opportunity to put up some big stats, and he did not look good. He skipped some balls. He was erratic. The offensive line is in trouble. I don't want to downplay the state of the O-line, but I just feel like we're watching a bunch of players that aren't going to be a part of this team next year in the sense that like are playing major roles. Jacoby Brissett, give me your analysis on the quarterback.
No, I think he's shaping into what he is, what he absolutely is, and that's a high level backup. And if you're going to be asked to task him with being your starting quarterback for in an extended period of amount of time, this is what you're going to get. And so far, the Cardinals unfortunately got 1 win with that, and it was just a bit. Even he couldn't get the big time numbers, then go over 250. I think for the first time, I think it was at 249 last week, and now he's just over 200. And then the 1 touchdown pass, you thought there were several drives that they could have gotten something going, and they didn't. And it was just shooting themselves in the foot somehow, and not being able to get it done. And another 2-minute drive that stalls out where they can't
injury front,
cash in.
Sweaty had an ankle. Tried to come back in, couldn't go. Garrett had, I think, an Achilles. Walt had a knee. Yelda had an elbow, but then came back in the game. Buddha had to get checked out for a concussion, came back in the game, and Rabbit got checked out for a concussion. I think it was a stinger, came back in the game. The injury front, Sweaty had an ankle. Tried to come back in, couldn't go. Garrett had, I think, an Achilles. Walt had a knee. Yelda had an elbow, but then came back
today. That you bring back a staff that has lost 9 in a row, won 3 games this year, and prop up this staff in January and say, like, guys, this is it's a fluke year, it's a dip, as the coach says.
It's not. You're not going to inspire any confidence as far as the masses, as far as the fan base. I mean, it's just you've lost now 12 of 13, and you've found different ways to do it. I mean, and this is another 1-score loss. But you've done it all certain different types of ways. Luckily, this game was able to be, within striking distance, but just another one in the loss column, unfortunately, for the Arizona Cardinals. And I mean, it's just another strike against them, unfortunately. And they would have to buck some serious trends here, and really kind of inspire hope and a fan base that isn't going to be able to kind of see anything that they can kind of grasp onto and say, hey, this is something that we can parlay into success. It feels like it's got to be jump started at some point. And like now, just looking at the overall, resume, what's given you kind of that confidence that you can get there. And I think that the fan base, that's a tough ask. That's a tough argue for anybody. And let me just say this, so I don't know if I can talk to anybody otherwise. I got JG audio coming in my ear before that, so I couldn't hear what Johnny was saying leading up to talking.
You're good. Here's what I'll tell you. I don't think it's a tough task. I think it's an impossible task. There's so many bad vibes around this team right now. You know, Kyler Murray's on his way out. You're losing players to injury. I get that. But you're losing games at a historic pace. Like I have never seen, like dating back to the bye last year. Okay, they finished 2-5. I mean, they're 5-17 dating back to the end of last year. And that's not injuries. It's just that's a byproduct of who you are. Like I am looping the end of last year. I know Rap Sheet, polished it up for the team, saying that they overachieved. You were 6-4 and you finished 2-5. So since the bye last year, you're an unwatchable product. I mean, it just that you've conditioned Cardinal fans to check out. And I do think there's going to be a point where Michael Bidwell has a football come to Jesus moment. It's just like, this is my bottom dollar. Like I can't hemorrhage fans the way we're doing. Like, I mean, talk about the environment today at State Farm Stadium, which was, we had people there, I had family there. It was a sparse crowd today.
Oh, no doubt about it. It was non-existent. There was just no. It was people showing up just to kind of check a box and watch professional football, for one last time here before the calendar flips. And then, you get into next season. But talk about the impossible mission as far as trying to inspire hope. Like, the only way that's going to come is you can make as many offseason moves as you want. It's going to come with having to do it next season. And that's tough, like, because then you've got the long sludge of the offseason trying to conjure interest in this team, and it's not going to happen.
Let's get to our play of the game for the love of the game. And it was unfortunately Jacoby Brissett's interception at the end of the game, which was atrocious. Bo, we saw like Trey McBride kind of being, stymied by Jesse Bates, and then Michael Wilson Marv really couldn't get anything going. Any idea what Jacoby Brissett saw on that last play, that last throw?
We asked Gannon about it. We didn't get too much insight. He just thought that the former first round pick, CJ Henderson, who I didn't even know was still in the league, he made a good play on it. He was able to hold on to it and seal the deal for the Falcons there. But just another 2-minute drill that comes up short. Just added to another long list. It's just there's just not much to this game that you can kind of glean that's really going to tell you like much more about the 2025 Cardinals than you already have seen.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. You're going to hear from Jonathan Gannon, plus your super chats. Hit that like button for PHNX Cardinals. It's Johnny and Bo. I am a terrible gift giver. It has been confirmed, but the best part about working for this company is we get to partner with a lot of tremendous sponsors that hook up with the best gifts for the holiday season, not just for Christmas, not just for Hanukkah, whatever you choose to celebrate, but for birthdays, for other holidays. Valentine's Day right around the corner. Aurora Frames has got you covered. I was skeptical. I'm like, I don't know if I want to take on a frame that changes, mixes and matches photos. And then I saw the upgraded capability, the HD capability of Aurora Frames. And I'm like, I got to get this for everybody in my family. I paid it with my hard-earned money. I said, I'm going to go to auroraframes.com. I'm going to use the PHNX bonus code. I'm going to get 35% off. Unlimited. There's no limit. Free photos and videos. Just get it connected to the app. It connects into your Wi-Fi. You're good to go. It's as innovative. It's the future, frankly, of frames. All you got to do right now, limited time only, save on the perfect gift by going to auroraframes.com. $35 off their Carver matte frames. That's the one I have. It's my favorite. #1 by Wirecutter using the promo code, PHNX at checkout. That's auroraframes.com. Promo code PHNX. The deal is exclusive to the listeners of this show. Tell them we sent you. And the frames, they sell out fast. I already tried to get another one. It was sold out, but they do go back in stock. Show support by mentioning us at the checkout. Again, auroraframes.com, doing so much good stuff. Speaking of good, I can't wait to be eating good, vibing good with our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass. We were there last week. We're going to be there for the Cincinnati game. We're going to be there for the LA Rams game the next 2 weeks. Your last two chances to come vibe with myself. Britton will be back. Bo, Noah, we're going to be hanging out. We got early kickoff next week, and then the following week it's a late game kickoff. Find out where the Cardinals are going to be drafted. Hang with us at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. I'm going to tell you right now, I've got big plans New Year's Eve, and I'm going to spend it at Gila. I already got a place for me and my wife. We got a sitter. We're going to go out. We're going to hit the craps tables. We're going to have a blast. We're going to eat at Prime A. Shula Steakhouse. 4,500 slots, live table games. It's fantastic. It's my staycation of choice. You should too. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. It's the Big Time Loser Show. Hit that like button for Johnny and Bo. Bo, let's cue up some Jonathan Gannon bites because I know that'll get people going. That'll get the masses going here as the team suffers, their 12th loss in 13 games or whatever it is. Good Lord, they're bad. Let's hear from Jonathan Gannon. Noah, roll the clip.
On the injury front, Sweaty had an ankle, tried to come back in, couldn't go. Garrett had, I think, an Achilles. Walt had a knee. Yelda had an elbow, but then came back in the game. Buddha had to get checked out for a concussion, came back in the game, and Rabbit got checked out for a concussion. I think it was a stinger, came back in the game. Yeah, it's my reaction to all injuries. It sucks, we've had a lot of attrition. It's hard, But I thought Jaden came in there and battled. I thought the DB coaches did a good job because Buddha was in and out. JT's obviously down. Guys went in there and fought their tail off and executed pretty well. I don't know. I think I got all the faith in the world in him. I'm sure he wants some back, obviously, just like everybody in there. I'll keep putting him out there. I got faith in him. I don't know.
Okay, so that's Jonathan Gannon. Again, we expect the injuries to Walter Nolen and Garrett Williams to be significant. We pray for the best, but we prepare for the worst. And again, that's what makes this difficult. We've touched on it, Bo. Two things can be true. The Cardinals are ravaged by injuries, but the Cardinals also need a new staff. Those two things can be true. You could
Sure.
One doesn't connect to the other, right? Go ask Jim Harbaugh, who's playing without both his tackles, right? Who's playing without numerous pass rushers and Robert Saleh, what he's doing. Great coaches overcome. And you want to complain and you want to moan about the strength of schedule. It's okay, you had the dog water Falcons come into your building with a rag arm Kirk Cousins, and they just basically controlled the entire game with a coach that you got beat by a coach who's going to be fired in 3 weeks. What does that say about you guys?
Yeah, I just couldn't get up for it, right? There wasn't any kind of fight, as far as I don't think they punted once. As I said, the Falcons were a team they were either going to go down there and score, they were going to get taken off on downs, or there was going to be a pick like we saw with Kirk Cousins on the opening drive. And you're like, hey, maybe there is some fight in this. And then quickly, I thought this game completely changed when it was Bijan Robinson touched the ball 3 times, and it was, not close to start the drive. We went 41 yards. He had a 12-yard rush, and then he had a 13-yard easy catch and run into the end zone. That was just when it kind of shifted, and they said, okay, you can really do whatever you want. I mean, the first drive was a product of the Falcons kind of getting away from it. I mean, Bijan had quick 12 yards on 2 carries, and then they passed the ball inexplicably 4 times. And then that was the end of it. But, other than that, there just wasn't a whole lot of stops being made out there.
Hit that like button. Let's do a little bit of by the numbers here as we break things down on the postgame show. Falcons turned the ball over twice. Didn't matter. The Cardinals had a turnover at the end of the game, but time of possession, Falcons dominated, more rushing yards. Total yards were about even. It never felt to me, and Bo, you echoed this, that this game was there to be had for the Cardinals. And Noah put it well. We were watching the game in the studio. The Cardinals formula to win this game, Kirk Cousins would need to give it to them. Pick 6, fumble, recovery for a touchdown. Just got it to a point where they had to throw at the end of the game. They never did. They were winning by 10, and they cruised, and the they didn't pick up a couple first downs because they screwed around on like 4th and 1. It still didn't matter.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to downplay the Cardinals' effort because it was better today, but like, apologies, I'm not here to play patty cake and say like, great effort, team, you did a great job. You have 3 wins. You have 12 losses. You have 3 wins and 12 losses. Nobody wants to hear about effort. Like, Cardinal fans came out today, the few of them that were there at State Farm Stadium, and said, entertain me. Win this game. You got Marv dropping touchdowns. You got Chad Ryland missing field goals. You still have missed tackles defensively. Like, I get it. The injuries are bad, but come on. Like, no one wants to hear, like, it's sad and scary because we're like, are they going to keep this staff? And we're talking about moral victories in a 7-point loss to Raheem Morris and Kirk Cousins.
Right. Well, I mean, it could have been worse and could have won the game, found a way, right? I mean, it's of all days where you saw how things kind of transpired earlier. It could have gone better, but it's still trended in the direction for the Cardinals where the Titans won a football game today. And then, the Cardinals right now, as it stands, just percentage points in the strength of schedule category from officially punching their ticket to a top 5. I believe if the Patriots win tonight, it strengthens up the Titans schedule enough to where the Cardinals would hurdle them. And, there you go. You got a top 5 and you could be knocking on the door to one of these quarterbacks or, just a premium pick. But, I think that would have been a tough one too, where it's just like, it was pretty heartless. It was pretty, like, there wasn't much to get excited about. Oh, and then, yes, you could torpedo, the one thing that you now covet in this life as a Cardinals fan.
Cardinals, if they had won, they would be picking 7th. Washington would be picking 6th. So they would basically be dropping 2 spots. New Orleans winning today and the Bengals winning today, that's a 2-game cushion. So if the Cardinals somehow win a game, they're not going to drop lower than 7th. But I still think there's a chance that they can get up as high as 4. But things have to align here. So we're getting some clarity. But it's just, isn't it crazy? We're sitting here, it's like the New Orleans Saints and how poverty that team was when we went and saw them at the Superdome, what feels like forever ago, has 2 more wins than the Arizona Cardinals. That is incredible. That is that is a fireable, damning statistic.
Yeah. No, I mean, like they get a little juice, right? They're playing for jobs. They're trying to be a part of something, moving forward where, I think there was maybe this sense that this was established and it wasn't close to where it needed to be as far as putting yourself in a position to win games week in and week out. And now that they're paying dearly for it. And, you add a bunch of the different variables into it, like the injuries, like quarterback situation, all that. It's just, it's been a season from hell.
Let's jump in more of your super chats. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button. We're going to read them until you stop sending them. Jenga Man, 64, $2. Wouldn't trust the staff to make a ham sandwich. That Drew Petzing 3rd down call. How about that in the red zone down there? After Marv drops that touchdown, just like, let me go with a backwards pass to DeMercado to set up a field goal that I think inevitably was missed. That's a chef kiss Drew Petzing special.
That, and, he had the 3rd and 11 that they nearly converted. That turned into a field goal make, right? That was what set up the 4th and 1 that
they did make that field goal, but
yeah.
Jake, $4.99, Cardinals fan from the United Kingdom, and man, is honestly hard to watch, but I'm still optimistic. Would you rather a rookie or trade for a quarterback next year? I'd rather have one of these rookies, and I'd rather have somebody of quality to develop them. Brandon Butterfield, $1.99. Monty out too, or is it just coaching? I mean, right now, everybody's in until they're not in. Monty Austin, like Michael Bidwell, I think we can both agree.
Where is this game for you, Johnny? What does it do to the overall?
Can I give you a hard reality? I think they use the injuries to Garrett Williams and Walter Nolen to their advantage and say, look, we lost a couple players and we were right there. I think they use that Walter Nolen injury and Garrett Williams injury as a crutch. And I think they try to use it to mask over not only today, but the next 2 weeks. You got Rap Sheet carrying water on Twitter for him. You got the broadcast putting up graphics. It's like, guys, that's great. you feel sorry for yourself, but you've lost games you were supposed to win this year. It's not just you're losing games because of injury now. Sure, you want to say that. You were favored against San Francisco and Tennessee, and I think Jacksonville. Like, you were favored against a bunch of teams. You blew those games. So, like, let's not have a short-sightedness here. Well, how do you feel about that? How do you think they frame this?
No, I see it very similarly. I think that the framing's pretty equal with what I was thinking. I think it didn't torpedo because it was competitive, but then there was, I don't think that Crutchville, obviously it's not, going for the previous losses, but this loss in particular, I think that they could pin that on, some unfortunate injuries that happen.
Here's what I'll tell you though. These next 2 weeks, what if you're outscored 80-20? For 70, 75, 35. We got a long way to go before this puppy's done. This was the closest game we knew for the rest of the year. We had all pointed to this game, Bo. You and I both.
Right.
This is the winnable game. Like, they should have won this game. They had better players. Doesn't matter. Red Feather Workshop, $5. That's what I mean by the fire the cleats guy is fire everyone down to the lunch ladies. Sorry, lunch ladies. You need a palate cleanser. And to sit up there in January and be like, guys, this is a fluke season. Give me a break. Cardinal fans have a terrible taste in their mouth, Bo. They need an opportunity to be able to rinse this out.
It's not part of the lunch lady though.
Citrus. She's lovely. $4.99. There's way too much talent on both sides of the ball for both of them to be genuinely bad. How is it not a coaching problem? Is Bidwell delusional? Trey and Marvin and Mike and, they can't score 20 points. I mean, everybody scores 20 points.
Right.
How many points did the Jets score today? I guess not the Jets and the Cardinals. Raiders scored 21 today against Houston.
Right. They're the same. That's the team that you want to twin with, right? What's up, twin? For the Jets as you're walking in the
hey,
hallway
twin.
of...
What up, twin?
Yeah.
Shane Lame, $1.99. Merry Xmas, fellas. Enjoy the family time. We sure will. And we're going to be enjoying a top draft pick, too. Don't get it twisted. It's Izzy, bruh. Hey, bruh. $5. I'm tired of this. Another season wasted waiting for the right leadership. The fact that we're going to finish 3 years of this, they're going to go 15-35 and not have fired one coordinator during that process is unthinkable. That is unbelievable. You're 20 games under 500. You didn't fire one coach. I know that they're going to allow contracts to expire, but, like, come on. That is a joke. Parker, $2. Thoughts on pursuing Joe Burrow? Not going to happen. It needs to be, how do you feel about the quarterback situation this offseason? Do you have a preference on what you want to see the team do?
No, they just need a plan for it. They need a plan because as we talked about 20 minutes ago, I mean, you've seen this current situation kind of hit its ceiling. It is what it is. And, whether it's this regime or somebody else, it's tough to win without a starting caliber quarterback in this league. And, I know Jacoby, it's razor thin there between being a really good backup and being a starter. But you need starting quality quarterback play through the extent of a season, and they don't have it right now in-house. So whether it's you got to draft and develop it, which, obviously can kind of galvanize a fan base and spark some things, or if some vet, and I don't think it's going to be Joe, unfortunately, because, I was a big person banging the drum when he was woe is me at the podium a couple weeks ago. I think it's more, whoever does become available that wasn't previously anticipated to, you aggressively get after them if you don't feel like you're within striking distance of a top guy in the draft.
$10, very generous from our guy Shaft. I'm not making excuses, but oh my God, we lead the NFL. 312 missed games from injuries after today. That's going to go up. 318, 320. Think about that. Is that really possible? 312 divided by 17, 18 players per game. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. But again, that's tough. You can sell that to a fan base first and second year of a rebuild. Third year, after you've already collapsed at the end of last year, I mean, we're all gutted because of the injuries to the players. Nobody is sitting. I don't think they win that game if Walter and Garrett Williams stay healthy. I still think they lose.
Right.
and they're not winning that game. Desert Vulture, $5. What I've learned most about this season, this is not a next man up team. No doubt about it. Brian Baldinger was on our show on Thursday. Desert Vulture said, like, why can other teams just go to their backups and sometimes be better? And the drop-off is not significant. To the Cardinals, like, according to the Cardinals, you need a team of 11 Hall of Famers on each side of the ball. And if they miss a snap or a game, then that's the reason we're going to use it as a crutch. That's what we're hearing. Sandy, $10. This entire coaching staff is inept. That is the reason they should have been fired weeks ago. Their incompetence will now bleed into next year, even if they're fired. Well, I mean, Gannon's got to have one of the worst winning percentages as a head coach of all time. I mean, it's up. Steve Spagnuolo, I think, won 11 games. It was like 11-40. But that was back in St. Louis. Man, we got another break. Last break, the more your super chats. It's PHNX. Hit that like. I don't know if you noticed, gas is trickling down to around 3 cents per gallon, and you can go sub 3 with our friends at Circle K. Become an Inner Circle member today. You get 25 cents off your first 5 gallons. I'm afraid to admit it, Noah. I've been hooked up with the Inner Circle. My wife just recently did it. She goes, "Did you know I'm saving 25 cents per gallon my first 5 fill-ups?" Heck yeah, I did. So it's the only place right now, frankly, that you can go sub $3 per gallon. And that's not all they have. They've got the drink deals. Buy 2, get 1 free Coke, Sprite, and Dr. Pepper 12 packs. Buy 2, get 1 free 16-ounce Monster energy drinks. I've been telling people forever. People only know Circle K on the perimeter of, oh, I see what gas is, right? I know I can save some money on gas. I'm going to tell you right now, you go inside, you would be blown away, flabbergasted by the amount of food and drink deals with Circle K. It's outstanding. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. I'm telling you right now, Circle K gift card, holiday stocking stuffer. Hello. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And speaking of saving money, Desert Financial Credit Union is my go-to, especially like this holiday season. I've been known to drop some coin on my kids, my family, my loved ones, on my friends. I got to know a bunch of stuff, but I'm like, I got to know where my money stands via Desert Financial Credit Union. It is the most seamless, easy experience I've ever had. Moving money, okay, checking my balance, ATMs, they've got loans, they've got credit cards. I had a checking account, and I had, more specifically, a credit union out east, and it was a hassle to move money. It was a hassle to get money into the account. This is seamless as it comes. Right now, they're hooking you up to Desert Financial. Not only can you get a branded Arizona Cardinal debit card, which I do have. I'm not going to show you, but I do have. I love it. People love it. When you open up a free checking account online, you're going to get $200 in bonuses. So if you're like, I need some money after the holidays, Desert Financial is like, here's $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 friends to get started. There's Bo Brack hanging out. What we got behind you, Bo?
Yeah, looks like Clay's having a bunch of his friends and family gather with him in the Cardinals' north or south end zone here. Also, former Arizona Cardinals big man Dan Williams. I can see him there. Former, was it first round pick?
Can Dan play? Somebody asked Dan if he can play next week.
But it is now like reality. Obviously, settling in. Looks like a bunch of people from the organization coming over here. This is probably it for Calais. Came back, anticipating joining a team with high expectations, and much like kind of J.J. Watt a couple of years ago, that's going to be kind of the only story, like Hall of Famer type caliber player going out and playing in these games. But we're looking at Calais, who had a big field goal block in this game. Looks like he's played his final down here at State Farm Stadium potentially.
Here's 3 wins, Calais. Let's get back to your super chats here. David, $5. You don't blame ownership, but blame the GM. Who's the one hiring the GM? Who's making these bad draft picks in the first place? You need to wake up. Well, I mean, earlier, Bo, I said that I don't blame this season on Michael Bidwell. The football people put this team together. They're coaching it. It's not working out. I think you can, you want to be upset about, the Cardinals' history and the Casitas and the Phoenix, 100%. But,
sure.
Based on what we know now, I don't think it's, a season in which Michael Bidwell is sabotaging the Cardinals. But you give me your take on that.
No, I mean, I know he's not completely, guilt-free in this, but for the most part, especially in previous instances, As far as the blame pie, I don't think he's taking on very much of it. And like also trying to like use that as hindsight, like he should have sniffed this out from the very beginning. Like that's the whole argument. And that's ridiculous claim in the NFL, which is it's tough, especially when you're credit to him for going out without outside the organization for the first time in 3 decades. Get some new eyes, new blood in here. And unfortunately, it didn't work this time around either. It hasn't. So, like, I understand the frustration, but to sit here and just say, this is another strike against, I mean, I feel like he has very little blame to take on as far as the failures of this year's team.
Sandy Viper echoing the thoughts of somebody else earlier, $10. Nolen shouldn't have even been playing after his knee injury earlier, but JG doesn't want to rush players back unless it's Walter, and Walt had been putting his body on the line game after game. Multiple people pointing that out. You can't play Paris Johnson Jr. the rest of the year, though. I don't want to see Paris. No. And then you can't let this bleed into the offseason. But it's gutting for Walter. But he did. Yeah. I push back. Like if the medical team said he was ready, they needed him to get reps. I mean, it's not just about winning games. It's like Walter Nolen missed so much time. It's hard though.
It's such armchair crap. Like to sit there and say he shouldn't have been out there, and like he missed entire training camp. He's had a couple injuries that have sidelined him. Like you needed to see, you had him out there. He had a non-contact injury. It's very unlikely it was a product of the other knee injury that he had. I mean, it's 100% injury rate in this league. It's just really unfortunate, and it sucks that his entire rookie season's been marred by it. And hopefully he can avoid it, bleeding into his second season.
It's Izzy, bro. $2. I wish we could get relegated. Maybe we can care then. We need a new division. We need lots of things. Ben, the Cardinals fan. Yes, we want Bama. Ty Simpson would look good in Arizona. I'm warming up to the idea. Who's his coordinator? Who's his play caller? That matters. $4.99. Some of the young guys showed some flashes today, and then there was Marv. I'm done with him. He's awful. We should trade him. What's your assessment of Marv today? A lot of people are killing Marv. He should have caught that touchdown.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Would he have 3 targets, 1 catch?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly it was something they were trying to ease him in. I was wrong on that, but he's dealing with the heel injury. Bad game.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, do we feel like he's a bust after he's going to play through this heel pain?
They need a new quarterback and play caller, and then we can assess Marv. Jenga Man 64. Only positives from the season. Michael Wilson going to get a top 5 draft pick. Never have to see Caillou again, aka Drew Petzing. That's my favorite nickname. There are a lot of distasteful Drew Petzing nicknames. I love Caillou. Do you know who Caillou is, Bo? He's a little cartoon boy that's bald. Avril 12, 279. Yeah. This is a new low, and I feel like finding a new team. This does feel like a new low covering this team for sure. And especially if to put out that article and to be like so defiant that this team, it's a blip because of injuries. And no, you guys just suck and lose all the time. $20, right. Very generous. Sorry if you already answered. Are we interested next Raiders head coach Pete Carroll? I think Pete's going to get fired, and I think Pete's probably going to retire. I do think I like where your head's at. Like if the Cardinals fire Gannon, I think they need to target an experienced head coach. But Pete's in his 70s. It just kind of feels like both the games passed him by.
Yeah, no, I mean, we probably could have swayed me a couple of years ago. But I think we've seen like Seahawks were probably right with them moving on, and I think it's just it's the end for Pete.
It's time. Zach Set, $5. The Rams choked one game and fired their special teams coordinator to Bidwell. Failure is acceptable. Making excuses. He hasn't held anyone accountable for their failure. I cannot believe that they're going to go 15-34, 33 and not fire a coach. And that is nuts. And basically to ask the fans to endure that. I mean, Tennessee fired people. They're winning games now. It's okay to fire coaches. If I could talk to Jonathan Gannon, be like, you're not a bad guy if you fire these guys. They're going to be
Right.
okay. They've got guaranteed contracts. This is a cutthroat business. You can't. I'm sure they spend so much time together. You spend more time with the coaches in your family, but like Drew Petzing, how many games does he cost you this year? And you're just like, what, Drew? You're good, buddy. You take your time. You finish this year out. We feel bad for you because of all the injuries. Like, come on. The Raiders put 21 points on Houston today. You couldn't do that last week. Terrible.
Kept him to 23, right?
Terrible.
26.
Buwanaki.
Tight.
Say Bidwell fires JG. I don't believe he will. Any of you trust Monty and hire a competent head coach, i.e. Saleh, or will he try to be cute? Well, we've talked about this, Buwanaki. I would be concerned about the finalists that Austin Ford had for the prior job before he hired Gannon. I don't.
Well,
none
he
of
was
those
so
guys.
behind, though. He was so
Yeah.
behind, though, because he was getting hired the same offseason. But you hope that's the reason. That's why, like, you need that urgency as far as so many of the big moves that they have to make this offseason.
It would be crippling for this fan base if they lose out. Gannon does the end of the year presser, and then the Cardinals go dark, and then that's it for we get leaks of the coordinators, but like that would be just demoralizing for this fan base. Unbelievably demoralizing. Buwanaki, again, a very generous and sincere $5. Happy holidays to you guys at PHNX crew. You guys endure this day in and day out. Wishing you the best and all the winning next year. Well, we appreciate you, Buwanaki. I can't say it's not tough watching our friends at the MVR, CHGO, PHLY, have a lot of success. CHGO in particular, what they're experiencing with Ben Johnson. We've had Adam Hogue, who covers that team, on our show, and he said the Cardinals remind him of the Bears from last year. But the Bears, they fired Eberflus. They smartened up. They got Ben Johnson. I just think, we've talked about this, Bo, Michael Bidwell has such an affinity for Jonathan Gannon that he wants this to work by hook or by crook. Really, the only thing I think that could puncture that is a fan revolt.
Yeah. Will that do it? Is he tapped in enough and going to listen? Is he going to resonate enough to pull the trigger, do what he feels like would be necessary? Or does he feel like maybe there's some behind the scenes things that people aren't picking up? That's got to be the only, and it's going to realize itself next season. But that's tough to sell season tickets for.
Corey celebrates a month of membership. Thank you, Corey. Sad but not surprised. At least we all gather here to vent our frustrations. Everyone become a member. Yes, please do. Click that join button. Bo and I are going to have full breakdowns of this team, not only during, but in the off season as well. We're going to have member only streams, hangouts, mock drafts, and more. It's just $5. Again, do us a favor. We go live damn near every day. Become a member of the supporter club. You get a ton of cool access, including those emojis. And again, I'm not hyperbole here, blowing smoke. We're going to put out a lot of member-only content in the offseason. So thank you for that. Next super chat, Larry. If Gannon returns, I'd rather not get a top 5 pick, so we have no chance at a quarterback. After he's fired next season, a new coach can pick a QB. I'm just done. I saw Kyle Odegaard tweet this, and with all due respect to Kyle, I don't want somebody with a mindset of tanking next year. Like, you have good players. Like,
right.
You're not going to tank next year. Like, I get it. You want to go get a quarter, but like, then you what? Then you draft a rookie and then you're bad during their rookie year. What are we, like 5 years away from this? Like, the goal should be to win next year, not to tank. I'm sorry. I just can't. Go find your version of Tyler Shuck then in the draft. I don't want to. I'm not doing the thing where, hey, Arch Manning 2027. Like, no. Go try to be good. Spend money, trade for players, draft a good player high, and try to be good. Stop sucking. You've sucked enough for 3 years. I'm done with this. No, I don't want to hear about tanking.
Too. Yeah, like 2018, it's been basically a suck fest.
Yeah, like that. I'm not into that. I am into everybody here. Big thanks to everybody who put in your super chats. Hit that like button. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. I want to remind everybody we're counting cards one last time with our friends at Gila. Check them out here. Denzel Burke had the nice interception. We got Higgy Bear, somehow 91 yards. And then, of course, Chad Ryland stunk it up when it mattered most. 4 of 6 for field goals. So, nice little day for some supplemental players here. Big thanks to our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Larry the Max, again, I just don't trust Gannon to win next year. I don't know how you could say anything other than that. What has this regime showed you that they can win in anything? And then, the people were pointing out they can't win without Kyler. Like, they can't win, period, guys. They're losing. They could have lost to the Panthers and the Saints earlier this year. They're losing to everybody. So I am 100% on par with the comments about you got to go with a hope and a prayer. But to go into an off season with a fan base in revolt, that is not a place they want to be. I got to imagine if they have any kind of pulse of the room, Bo.
Yeah, no. It's the conversation that has to be had, the examination that we've heard reports of. All of that needs to happen. If they come out and they say, hey, this is what the coaching carousel is going to present, we didn't like it, and we want to continue with that continuity and have that conversation and explain yourself. But, you can't just say, hey, this was just a dip, this was just a fluke, and we're just going to stay with the status quo for the most part, and we're just going to anticipate it being better, because it's not how it works in this league.
We appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. Bo and I are back tomorrow. We're back a couple times this week, even though it's a holiday week, to get you ready for the final 2 weeks of the regular season. Cardinals lose again. Can they jump into the top 5? Let's go New England Patriots tonight. Big thanks to our guy, Noah, crushing it with the graphics. And again, hit that like button. For Bo, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.